curious clouds caught on camera.
Yeah, if you looked up last night, you may have seen something that looked like ocean waves in the sky.
Storm Team 10 meteorologist Chris Michaels joins us in studio with more on this rare occurrence that's going viral. That's just so cool to look at.
Yeah, almost doesn't look real, but I'll tell you what, nearly 1,000 people have liked this on our Facebook page, and it's reached nearly 25,000 people just from our Facebook page alone. And you can see it definitely looks like ocean waves here. This was taken by Amy Hunter at Smith Mountain Lake. So how in the world would something like this form? If it's going to happen at sunrise or sunset when the lower part of the cloud is cool. That's where the air is more dense. The air is less dense or lighter at the top of the cloud. So the air at the top of the cloud moving much, much faster than the air at the bottom. So just like an ocean wave, the air is moving over it and allowing that wave to kind of ripple and come crashing down. That's why you see that recurring wave. These are called Kelvin Helmholtz waves that were found over Smith Mountain Lake yesterday. And with that, we want to encourage you that whenever weather is happening or anything you see in nature happening, when it's safe to do so, send us a picture like Amy did on our Facebook page, our Twitter, or our Instagram. Guys, back to you.